Santorini, Greece is known as a tourist hotspot, and some call it the Instagram island because of its beautiful, breathtaking views. Many influencers and social media users go to take pictures, and it is ideally considered a dream travel vacation spot. It is filled with a lot of history, food, culture, and great weather. Surprisingly, Santorini is a caldera, and it is the only inhabited caldera in the whole world, which is really shocking. This month, on February 4th, 2025, according to Fox News, earthquakes in Greece volcanic islands have been creating panic, and over 6,000 citizens have evacuated. This is really scary and concerning considering the island's geological history. Santorini's island was actually created and formed by the eruption of the Thera volcano. So if you don't know what a caldera is, basically caldera, according to the usgs.gov website, is a bowl-shaped ground that forms when a volcano erupts. The way I understand it better, it is basically a volcano that has erupted on itself, and Santorini, the island, is the shoulder of that volcano, which is pretty crazy to me. A long time ago, before the Thera volcano erupted, there were people who lived on the island, and they were called Minoans. They lived there during circa 2000 to 1600 BCE. The Minoans were great at building houses, and they had a big city called Akrotiri. Akrotiri is still there to this day, and a lot of the Minoans' history can be found under volcanic ash or by nearby museums. The Minoans were great at painting on walls, and they traded with places around the area. All of this information can be found on the National Geographic website of Santorini. Santorini is a mostly submerged caldera, and it was formed by the Thera volcano eruption. This happened in circa 1600 BCE, and it is also called the Minoan eruption because it impacted the Minoan civilization really heavily. Santorini is also known due to its Greek Orthodox heritage, so they are really religious. Throughout history, island inhabitants were very religious, and many churches were built by families to honor saints. In medieval times, there is this location by the coast, and it is called Skira Rocks. Skira Rocks now is really beautiful, but back then it was used as a fortress to protect people against pirates. Skira Rocks was once a prominent fortress, and during the medieval times, it was capital of Santorini. In the 19th century, the tradition of whitewashing buildings occurs. This was actually mandated by the Greek government in the 1930s because there was a disease going around called cholera, also known as Blue Death, and whitewashing buildings was the only way to prevent and keep safe from these diseases. Whitewashing buildings was used by painting water and lime on the walls. Later in the 20th century, major earthquakes in 1954 caused a lot of damage and led to the abandonment of traditional settlements. I find this crazy because throughout history, a lot of people and citizens who lived in Santorini had to constantly abandon their homes or evacuated because of earthquakes or natural tremors. Until 1960, there was no electricity on the island, but only donkeys and fishermen. Now, Santorini is known for its wine. They have good brown grapes that grow there, and this is because of the volcanic ash in the soil, and this ash actually enriches the soil. Today, Skira Rocks is a popular spot for hiking, and it offers stunning views of the caldera and the Aegean Sea. Santorini is a beautiful spot, and it is a must-see.
On the Ask website, it states that no exploration of Santorini's culture would be complete without indulging in its delicious cuisine. The island's volcanic soil creates fertile ground for cultivating unique ingredients, resulting in flavorful dishes that are a fusion of Greek and Mediterranean influences. Santorini, Greece is known for its island that was created from its volcano eruption. But if you didn't know, that same volcano soil is where all of their produce grows, and that same produce is used in all of their delicious traditional foods that they have. I would say that is something that makes them very unique and one of a kind. It is also something that would make me want to go visit them to try their foods, but not just for the food, but also to learn more about their culture. And some of the most popular crops that grow on their island include fava, cherry tomatoes, capers, catsonia, white eggplants, and even wines. For these crops to be good quality, I would say so, the weather conditions have to be good. And by good weather conditions, I mean sunny weather, even just the littlest amount of rain and strong winds play a big part on how the crops will be. Not just that, but also the volcanic soil plays a big part, since the soil is filled with lots of nutrients. So you may wonder what kinds of foods are made with these crops, and some of the most popular ones include domectefetes, which translates to tomato fritters. It includes cherry tomatoes from its island, onions, fresh herbs, and it is described as crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside. The next one is called moussakos, and it is a Greek lasagna. It includes eggplants from its island, minced meat, potatoes, and Greek sauce. The next one is called sfogato. It is an egg casserole. It includes Greek zucchini, potatoes, and cheese. The next one is called melatinia, which is used a lot in Easter, and rather than a meal, it's a snack/treat. It is a cheese-filled pastry. The next one is also a treat/snack. It is called copaño. It is crushed barley rusk with raisins, cinnamon, and sesame seeds. Knowing that these foods are the most popular in Santorini, Greece, it is only right that they have them in their festivals, such as the Iphistia Festival, which translates to Greek Volcano Festival, and it is basically the celebration/representation of the volcano eruption. It is also held in Santorini every August, followed by concerts, performances, and small little events. Just like how people go to Greece to try the food and to learn about the culture, people also go there to get married. And Greece has their traditional way of getting married, but obviously the people that go to Greece to get married don't have to follow the traditional way. But the traditional way lasts 4 days. You get married on Sunday. 2 days before that, the bride's friends go to her house and they throw rice and sweet plums on her bed as a way to wish her happiness. The bride also goes from door to door, inviting anyone she wants, followed by music and instruments. After that, the entire party then goes to her house, which is where the ceremony is held and conducted by the priest. So in all, Greece is known for its rich foods that play a big part in their culture, and their food growing on their island makes them unique and might make the food, I would assume, make the food more tasty. The island is one of a kind with their own foods, as well as a festival that celebrates their volcano. Santorini, Greece is a very popular tourist country, and the food and culture is the first thing you'll want to know about.
If you are planning on visiting Santorini, Greece, it is a great place to go, but you should know about the weather to decide what time of year will be best for you to visit. You have the options to choose from either spring, summer, autumn, or winter. During spring, in March, the weather is cold, but there's more sun and less rain. In April, the weather starts to get warm. In May, it is constantly sunny and warm, with low chances of rain. This makes spring great for hiking and touring the island. During summer, it is hot and sunny. In July, the weather is hot and sunny as well, but it is one of the busiest months in the year, so you should book your hotel in advance if you plan on visiting during this month. And for August, the weather is hot and sunny, but with the occasional strong winds. It is the busiest time for traveling to Santorini, with huge numbers of families and couples that arrive on this island. In the article, Santorini Weather, What to Expect Every Month, on the website SantoriniSecrets.com by Pavlos Ingleses, when asked, "How's the weather like in Santorini?" the author states, "The only time you would feel slightly uncomfortable with Santorini weather is probably during the hot summer months of July and August, where the temperatures can rise up to 38 to 39 degrees Celsius or 100 to 102 degrees Fahrenheit, but this is really only a few days during the summer. During autumn, the weather is hot and sunny during the day, but during the nights, it's cool. In September, the weather is hot and sunny, but starting to cool down. In October, the weather is sunny and warm, but the cold is coming. During November, the weather is cloudy and cool as winter days start to arrive. If you plan on going around winter time, December is cool and has rain, but often has stretches of sunny days. But during January, the weather is cold and windy, and it is probably the rainiest month and one of the coldest, which is probably why the island usually doesn't have any tourists during this month. During February, the weather is cold and windy, and locals mention that it is always the coldest month, so there will probably not be many visitors touring this month as well. Hopefully, this information will help you decide when you would like to visit Santorini, Greece, what season, and you can choose from spring, summer, autumn, or winter to experience the weather you like best.
I think Santorini, Greece is a very unique place for having their crops grown on their island compared to having another country slash place having them grown on a regular cornfield. So I feel like having them grown on their island makes it be even more tastier. And I feel like the food that I'd want to try most is the tomato fritters, because it was described as juicy on the inside and crispy on the outside. So I feel like I'd really want to try it.
Santorini, Greece has very lovely weather throughout the year, and you can choose any time to go on vacation there and enjoy the weather that you like best. For me personally, I would probably choose during the winter time, since there is less tourists and I like the cold over the summer.
Personally, I would love to go visit Santorini and check out a museum. And I would specifically love to go visit Skyro Rocks and take a hike up there to see stunning views of the caldera. Overall, Santorini is a great place with breathtaking views and has loads of history, great food and culture, and amazing weather.